multiverse.
We're back. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Bad Todd Bricks, and we are back and better than ever. This is the Multiverse Podcast. Thank you for joining us. And I cannot do any of this without my cohort, my man, my co-host, the one, the only, Mini Man himself, Mini Morales. What's going on, brother? Minnie, are we engaged? Are we here? Are we popping? Minnie, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Minnie? Okay, so we have no sound from Minnie. All right. Minnie, are you here? Are you with me, brother? Well, Minnie's having technical difficulties, but we'll get back to that. I want to make sure I thank everybody for joining us again. It is another season of the Multiverse Podcast. We were gone, but we are back, and we are happy to be here. So this season, we got a lot of fun topics to talk about, a lot of things that we're engaged in, and we could not do any of this without our sponsor. And our sponsor is Minnie's terrible internet that is causing him not to be on the screen right now. One of the things that we started last season on the Multiverse was we decided, oh my gosh, I'm sweating so bad, but we decided that we would make Black History a year-round thing. So we decided that each episode we would spotlight a different person in history that just to give us an idea of what happened before us. Today is going to be a little different though. We have the opportunity to actually shed light on history being made right in front of our eyes, and I'm not gonna hold you guys to this. I was so excited to be able to show this clip. Let's jump right into the clip, and then we'll talk about it. Let's go.
One super student being honored by her classmates, teachers, and staff.
This teenager has accomplished something few can boast. The team's Robin Simmons is back on the Plex to share the story. Now, Robin?
You are going to meet the student who will be honored at Homestead City Hall later this week. She fast-tracked her education. 15-year-old Janiah Baker, who attends Homestead High School, reached an academic achievement that no other student in a Miami-Dade County public school has. She jumped from being a freshman to a senior in just 1 year.
I was ready to finish school.
Her mother noticed her daughter's drive in elementary school.
I noticed that she was very accelerated. I'm like, okay, she don't make B's. So that I noticed, like, let's put her in higher classes. And then she started accelerating as she went higher. And she just never dropped the ball. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
But it was no easy goal.
It was a lot of work I had to do.
She did it while juggling extracurriculars. As a student athlete, Baker currently holds the highest GPA in her class. All of her accomplishments making her parents and principal proud.
Moving from 9th grade to 12th grade, that shows grit, perseverance. It shows a young lady with tenacity and the vision to accomplish her future goals sooner rather than later.
Me and her dad, Travis, we've raised her to be the intelligent young woman that she is, and we're proud of her.
Baker's advice to other students who want to be fast learners is just to have a stick-to-it attitude.
Never give up and keep going, even if it gets hard. And just have a great supportive system around you.
Her mother, one of her biggest supporters, remembers the day her daughter made up her mind to finish school early.
She was like, Mom, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go off. I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to be me.
And Janiah's immediate goal after high school is to major in business at FIU and join the cheer team. Live in the Plex, Robin Simmons, 7 News 19.
Man, give it up, man. Give it up for Miss Little. Let's get that out of there. All right. Let's give it up one time for Miss Janiah Baker. Big round of applause for Miss Janiah Baker. That is absolutely phenomenal. This young lady in 1 year, Minnie, went from 9th grade to 12th grade just by hard work and present.
That's crazy.
And I mean, to see, like I was saying before, we made it our business that we were going to start celebrating Black History year round and just history, in general, but also most importantly, Black history all year round. And it's not often that you're able to celebrate those that come after you. This young lady is we're witnessing history happening. This is the first young lady to ever do this in Miami-Dade County. I mean, that's huge. That's huge, right, man?
That's big. That's big. That's really big. I mean, I almost did the same thing, but backwards. They took me from 12th grade to 9th grade. They were like, look, listen, boy, they'd have skipped you through this because of your looks. No, but for real, though, she definitely deserves some flowers. I mean, that's something that let's not just say because it's Miami-Dade, but I mean, it is true that she had a hard road in front of her. Miami-Dade is not known for things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? When you think of Miami-Dade, you think of a lot of things except for scholarships and scholars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you talk about, God bless. I treat love the kids. But either way, she definitely did her thing from 9th to 12th. I mean, the gap. We all been to high school. You know that gap of knowledge between 9 and 12.
Absolutely.
That means she was absolutely ready for that. So I can't wait to hear what else she does with her life because I know she doesn't stop here. She's probably going to go to college and do even bigger things. So definitely big ups to that young lady. For real, big ups to that young lady.
Big ups. Janiyah Baker. Yes.
Janiyah Baker. Yes.
She's a senior. So
I know.
Yeah. So get it popping. Janiyah, go to every college.
Exactly.
Break more records. Make more history. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Janiyah Baker for that, man. So that's definitely somebody we want to celebrate today. But listen, man, it's good to be back. We've been gone for a while, you know what I'm saying? We was on hiatus for a long period, had a lot to get done, a lot going on, but it's good to be back. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, pimping.
Yeah, man. What's been going on with you, man? I know being a dad is a full-time job, man. What's been up with you though?
Man, listen, the kids went back to school. I've been doing some comedy. The baby's in middle school now. That is ridiculous. I can't believe that she's in middle school, but it is what it is. Did a lot of good shows. Did some shows with Michael Collier again. Had a lot of good improv shows. Did my own night at the Improv. That was beautiful. Had about 80 people show up just for me. That was gorgeous. So I thank you guys for coming. I'm on Tubi. I got a movie on Tubi. It's a couple things going on. I'm trying to do a little things. Every now and then I'm trying to get my money where I can. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Many out here about to get famous on us and everything, man. You know what
I'm trying.
Man, look, man, go ahead and get famous, man. I know you're going to need you a little road manager or something, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and put me on, man. Let me go on ahead and sweep the floors or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, you're definitely going to be in there. Trust me.
Give me that hookup, man. But nah, man, it's really good. Like I said, it's good to be back. It's good to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know that being a dad is a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 sick ones right now that I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Started school. My son started school back, and now, I swear it was the same last year. First week of school, sick as a dog. He's sick as a dog. His little sister gets sick as a dog. So I'm only probably a couple of coughs and a touch away from being in the same.
Yeah, you next, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's usually how it works, man. So I gotta try to stay healthy, man, for the kids, man. But again, it's good to be back. We had a lot going on over the vacation, man. We a lot of soul searching and figuring some things out. But we're back, man. And what better time to start the season off, bro? Than now. I mean, it was just yesterday that something dropped. I don't know. Something dropped. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot we gotta talk about, man. First and foremost, we want to make sure we give a shout out and spotlight the writer of this show, the one and only cowboy Star Wars Rebels himself, Mr. Dave Filoni.
Dave Filonius.
Dave Filonius is the nickname that some like to give him. Some like to call him. Yo, let's talk about Dave a little bit before we get into the series, man. Dave has been around for a while, man. Dave has fully immersed himself in the Star Wars universe. And he's been clamoring for a while, right? He's been asking and baiting and pleading and I think it all finally has come full circle. And now it looks like it's all him now.
Finally.
Finally, right? This is his baby, right? This is what all the work led up to, right?
Yes.
Minnie, you know all the. You see, the one thing about you, Minnie, you when it comes to the literature, the comic book side, all of that, you know everything there is to know when it comes to comic books and all of the literature. Like, is Dave? Do you see in what Dave builds and what these universes that he's building, these properties that he's implementing? Do you feel like Dave is following the comic book to a T?
I don't think he's following the comic book to a T, but I will say he has a knack for making things that would not be able to make sense on film make sense. Like some of the things that he does, if you do it exactly how the comic book has it, it might not translate on film as good as the things that he ends up building. Like one thing he doesn't do, he doesn't totally go against the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
He totally doesn't take for granted what the comic books bring. Like there's a lot of characters that he did make up, and there's a lot of characters that you have Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff that are his babies, literally. But he takes into account everything else and makes it that it's a good continuity. He doesn't create in a way that it takes away what was already there. He just enhances it what's already there and makes it better. It makes it even make more sense when you look at it all as a big, broad picture. So I'm a big fan of him, even when he goes against things that I'm like, oh man, you should have did it this way, Cad Bane and other things. I see the big picture. So I don't have no complaint with Mr. Filoni so far.
Now, Dave Filoni is like I said, he's immersed himself within the Star Wars universe. I mean, we're talking about projects like The Mandalorian, Star Wars Rebels, the Star Wars The Clone Wars, Book of Boba Fett, The Bad Batch, Rogue One, the Star Wars story, Tales of the Jedi. He's been part of almost all of. I mean, since I think 2008 maybe.
I would say 8 or 9, something like that.
8 or 9. He's been kind of embedded in that universe, and as a person who watched all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels, I did this actually, right before Ahsoka came out. So I mean, almost down to the wire, Minnie. I was telling you
homework.
Yeah, man. When I tell you, I like 7 seasons of Clone Wars, 4 seasons of Rebels.
Jesus.
I'm never gonna get that time back. I'm never. That time is gone forever.
Was it well spent?
Well, I will say this. I am educated, much more educated in the realm of Star Wars than I was going in than now. So I'm you know, like, so I feel like I definitely learned a lot.
That's a win.
It's a win. It's a win. It was a win, but it took a lot of time. It definitely took a lot of time, man. Now, with us now knowing how invested Dave Filoni is as a writer, and again, he begged, he pleaded, he did whatever he had to do to get it, but he's got it now. We're talking about you're the director, you're the writer, you're the co-executive producer. You're everything on this. He's everything. Much. If you look at the credits, Dave Filoni's name
Dave Filoni.
It's like Dave Filoni is in everything. I mean, you might even see him playing a character at some point throughout this.
I would not doubt it.
That's how invested he is. He's like, I want to be in it. I want to write it. I want to talk about it. I want to make sure it's done the way I want it to be done, and all of those things. without all that being said, let's delve into it a little bit, right? Because he didn't just do it by himself. He always has one buddy that he's willing to go to bat for and go to war with and everything like that. And that's none other than the man himself, the Marvel creator, Jon Favreau, who also is doubly invested in the Star Wars universe as well. But these two are is this the recipe for success? Is this all it took was just that put these two guys in a room and let their minds just start working and we just get masterpiece after masterpiece? Is that what we're talking about?
I believe, I promise you, I believe so. I believe they are Dr. Dre and Scott Storch. I believe that is the winning combination every time. Put them together and they will create something beautiful. You might not like all of it, but you're going to like most of it. It's just the way that I look at it. They're just the perfect match when it comes to, just like Scott Storch and Dr. Dre. Perfect match when it comes to beat making. It's just, it is what it is. Some Timberland and you know what I'm saying, and Magoo type shit. It's just, it's gonna work every time. You might not like all of it, but you're gonna like most of it. Now, DC, the DCU's probably crying right now because they ain't got nothing close to it. I mean, I see James Gunn about to do his thing, but my man, you're gonna need some help because these boys out here killing on the other side really bad. Whether it's Marvel or Star Wars, Disney's out here whooping.
Yeah. Disney, pay your writers.
Facts.
Pay your writers.
Facts.
Pay your writers. Pay your writers. That's all
Facts.
I'm gonna say about Disney. Pay your writers. But I will continue to talk about Dave Filoni and his projects and the writing and everything that goes into making an animated show go live action, because a lot of times what we've seen in the past is animated shows converted to live action don't always
translate.
They don't always translate. They don't always hit the way that you would hope that they hit. Now, without telling, because we want to do spoiler free. So without telling what you saw on Ahsoka, I would like to know. Well, I'll take a step back and I'll do it this way, because you did tell me that you weren't fully up on the Clone Wars and the Rebels. So I'll take a different approach, right? How did you feel about the 2 episodes after you watched?
I personally felt great, because of what a little bit that I know, it kind of mirrored that. Like, I saw an evolution of where it had left off in the spirit, like in Ahsoka, the way she talked, the way she was thinking about things. It showed a maturity to her. It just, the characters were a little bit more evolved than the last time we seen them with their emotions, and I really like that. I like the fact that they didn't slack on that. They didn't just piggyback on, we're going to start exactly how it ended and we'll just go there from there forward. Because a lot of people like me, a lot of people didn't catch all the Rebels or Clone Wars, so they might not be up to what the situations are between these characters, right? So the fact that they were able to map it out a little bit for the nuances for the people who don't know, and if you did know, you kind of see the evolution in my eyes of those characters a little. It's only 2 episodes, but I thought it was good. I got with the main characters from the animated series. There's a lot of other characters that we didn't see before in the animated series, so there's no telling how they're gonna turn out. But for what I saw, it looked like a good it looked like it translated. It looked like if you're a fan of the Rebels or fan of Clone Wars, you're gonna be fine with the way they're portraying it so far. To me, now I don't know about you, who are a little more versed in those 2 animated series. You might think a little different.
Well, before I get into all of that, let's talk about casting.
Right. Okay.
We have Ahsoka, played by none other than the beautiful, very talented Rosario Dawson, whom I just absolutely adore as an actress. I think she's underrated. I think she deserves her flowers. Every opportunity I get to give her flowers, I will do so. But I think the casting was spot on. There's no, after seeing Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I don't want to see anybody else as Ahsoka. That's how thoroughly invested in her as an actress and the character I am.
I do feel bad for the lady who played her in the series, though.
Because she didn't get the opportunity to do a live action.
Yeah, and I know that kind of hurt her feelings a little bit somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see, because some people did get the opportunities whilst others did not, and so I think anytime that happens, you're probably going to have some people that feel a certain type of way, and probably, you know, I don't know what the situations were or what may have you, but yeah. You know, if you're going to go with that arc and continue, you know, to kind of establish this live action universe based upon the last season of Rebels, then, you know, maybe because people have gotten used to those voices and those characters, maybe there is some, but I was having a conversation with Daniel Biddle. Shout out to Biddle in the comments section, man. Shout out to you, man, and, for always showing love and support and always coming through. I was having a conversation with him a little bit earlier, and one of the things that he mentioned was that he thinks that Dave Filoni is making a huge mistake by assuming that everyone took the time to watch all 7 seasons of Clone Wars and all 4 seasons of Rebels to understand the plots and understand the characters and all of that.
That's a great point.
I think he's on to something there. But
that's a great point.
But what I also believe is that there's a whole new generation of viewers, not necessarily fans, but just viewers, that are constantly looking for material in the sci-fi realm, in the superhero realm, any of those realms. So as soon as something comes on that is in that pocket, they're willing to tune in. And I think maybe that's what he's trying to do is expand the culture and expand the fan, not necessarily fair, but
the fandom, you know,
the fan demographic or whatever he's trying to do. But I think he's trying to expand that. And so as long as it's entertaining, I think you can do that. But I think you're always gonna have the actual fans who took the time to watch all of those things, who are going to have some qualms with how you move forward in the universe, especially having spent our time and our lives investing in watching all of those shows. We kind of want it to kind of, you know, coincide. So I think that's always going to be a dynamic, and it'll be interesting to see moving forward how people perceive that. But right now, the Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews are in, people are loving it. It's got high ratings so far. It's I mean, it's only been out.
Good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's up there in the 8 points.
Okay.
Or something
for
like
Rotten
that.
Tomatoes, that's good.
Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 93%, I think, audience approval or something like that, somewhere around
wonderful.
that. I mean, but you know that those are skewed. Those can be skewed. But I personally, from what I saw, well, I don't want to rush. I'll get into this. No, because if I'll wait. Look, now
it's an hour show.
No, it's true. But I got this set up, so it's true. So what I will do is this though, because you didn't actually get to see Clone Wars or Rebels, this will be the first, maybe the first time you get to see the animated versions of these characters. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up the animated characters
next to the
cast, and I want you to basically let me know in the comment section. Also, if you agree, if you feel as though this was a great casting, or no, not at all, it doesn't do it for you. We're gonna start with the person who we kind of get a chance to see first. Obviously, we all agree that Ahsoka is casted perfectly. But then we have this young lady.
Okay.
Okay, that is her animated version. This is her real version. What do you
I'm
think?
not too mad. I'm
Not
not
too
too mad.
bad.
I'm
Not too
not too
bad.
bad.
Not too bad. So you think they got it right?
I
All
think they
right.
got her. I think they got her character more than her looks right. Yeah,
Okay. All right. All right. So based off looks, you feel like that's a match.
that's okay. It's pretty good. It's all right.
Okay. All right. Well, this young lady's name is Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And if you add the hyphen to the and to her last name, then her name would be Mary Elizabeth Winstead. But is it Ewan what's Ewan McGregor? McGregor, right?
Yeah, McGregor. Yeah, McGregor.
This is Ewan McGregor's wife.
Wife?
This is
That's
his wife. Yes, I didn't even know
what?
that. Her and Ewan got married, I think, in 2022. Got a
That
kid
boy.
together and everything. Yeah,
Lord, I know he got
yeah,
a kid together. I know for
yeah.
a fact.
Yes. So this is his wife, who also is now playing in the same universe as he is. So that'll
Good
be
job, Haley.
interesting to see if they ever do the crossovers and we get to see them on screen together. But we'll have to wait and see if that ever happens.
I see you, my boy.
But if as far as the actress herself, Mary Elizabeth Winstead has been in a lot of things, and she's actually been in one of my favorite movies of all time, which
What that is?
that's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yes,
Shut up. That's one of your
yes,
favorite movies all the
that's
time.
one of my favorite movies, man. That is one of my favorite. Hey, don't
You
hate
are
on
outrageous.
me. Listen,
You
don't
are
hate on me.
outrageous.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World was a good ass movie.
It
I don't
wasn't
get-
bad, but Lord of all time.
Yes, it's one of my favorite movies, man. It doesn't get like movies like that don't get the credit they deserve. You know, they actually
Okay,
are
I'll give
planning
you
a
that. I'll
reboot.
give you that.
They're
I'll give
supposedly
you that.
planning a reboot, an animated
For real?
reboot of that too. Yes, they're supposedly planning that.
That might be good.
I think it might already be out. I'm not sure.
That
but
might be good. Really?
We'll
That might be good.
delve
I'll have to
deeper
look that
into
up.
But yes, absolutely. So,
Go
but
ahead on.
she's been in a lot of different movies and everything like that. She's a I think she's a really good actress.
She is. She is.
And it'll be interesting to see how she embodies Hera, because the version that I saw in the first 2 episodes is not the version of Hera that I recognize. I didn't necessarily I recognize her visually, but based on some decisions being made early in the show, I was like, that's not Hera at all. That's never been Hera. Hera has always done things this way, and that was a little. I mean, of course, there's growth in
That was in its
time.
evolution, baby.
Yeah, there's growth and evolution, but I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem like too much time has passed for her to change.
I was just about to say, did they ever establish the length of time that has happened
They have
between the
not.
last?
And if anybody in the comment section, Daniel, if you have an idea of the time frame
Skittles,
in
my
which we
bittles.
are, where we're at right now, that is gone. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I agree. There's regression in her character. There's definitely something going on there. But time frame wise, it couldn't have been that long. It couldn't have been that long, Minnie. It just couldn't have been that long because of the ages that they are now. So yeah, I figured that so it's about 6 to 8 years. That's long. That's actually longer than I
That's long, man. That's enough for you to change your mind and grow up.
Well, no. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. A lot can happen in 6 to 8 years. A lot can happen. That definitely can happen in 6 to 8 years. But it was just such a drastic change. It's that it kind of, anybody who's actually watched all of Rebels and knows Hera's character and the decision she made within that series, it just doesn't line up. So it was just a little odd to say the least.
Okay.
But moving on. So we agree that the character that plays Hera, which is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, was a good casting. Then this casting right here, this casting right here as well. I'm gonna put up the animated version next to the live action. You tell me, and go. What you think?
I still see Hera, so I haven't seen nothing else.
You still see Hera? Oh, okay. So that's a
Oh,
little
there it
bit of
is. There it
lag.
is.
All
There it
right,
is.
all
I
right.
got you. My bad.
No, let's go.
Okay. I think I liked it because I figured they were gonna no disrespect, but I figured they were gonna use somebody who's gonna look like a Mandalorian. Most Mandalorian kind of had that look, so they got it right. She would look like Asiatic in the cartoons, so they're not too far off. Um, the hair threw me off at first. I didn't know that she had a little bit of that red like that. I remember
Yeah.
her with like more purplish hair.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the fact that she was still kind of like she didn't grow up. Like she was still kind of like mad at how things transpired or what have you, and how things ended. And she was still kind of like the rebellious one making dumb decisions, which I expected.
Yeah, as far as the casting goes, I think they got it on spot on. I think she's if as you can see her on the screen and next to each other, they resemble a
Yeah,
lot. It seems as though that was one of the things that Dave Filoni was adamant about, and that was kind of making sure that they lined up
aesthetically.
aesthetically, yeah,
Yeah,
aesthetically. And so this is one of those things where I'm like, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I can appreciate the character. Um, again, this young actress who plays Sabine Wren,
hmm
her name is Natasha Lou Bordizzo. And I apologize if I massacred that. My pronunciation is not always the best. But you may remember her from also. I think she played in Mulan. I think she was Mulan in Mulan.
oh, does see that would make sense.
Yeah.
I
So
knew I seen her somewhere, but I can't
yeah,
remember where.
yes, and she's got some other projects that she's working on and everything like that. But I think as far as just the visual, I think they got it. I think they got it on
Right.
with Sabine. This is something you may not know about Sabine because you didn't watch the Rebels. Sabine's character
Completely.
arc, Sabine is royalty, number one.
Mm.
She is from the Visla line.
Right. Yeah, I remember
Uh,
that. I remember seeing a
yeah,
bit of that. Yeah.
so her people are I guess the originals, if you want to say
Yeah.
the original Mandalorians. But she's a Mandalorian who at one point wielded the dark saber.
Right. And
Not
she
just
gave it
held it,
to
not just
she did,
held it. Hold up,
right.
not just held it. Like
Right.
some people that we've seen on live
Right.
action before.
Right.
She
She
wielded
mastered it.
it, so she was able to fight with it, and she was able to. And to those who don't know, in lore, the dark saber is a different saber than most lightsabers. It
Right.
comes with you have to have a level of mental focus in order to
Yeah.
even wield it,
Move it.
because it
Yeah.
becomes if you're not one with it, it becomes heavy, so heavy you can't even pick it up. So you have
Right.
to become one with the actual saber in order to be able to utilize it in a
Right.
way that one would want to be able to utilize it. Knowing that she was able to wield the dark saber in the Rebels, and then seeing some stuff in this episode of Ahsoka that just kind of threw all of that out the door. There was a particular scene that I won't go into the specifics of the scene, but you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In that scene, it was just it didn't line for me. It didn't line up. It didn't line up because for someone to be able to wield the dark saber and have the progression as far as her character arc, because she started as just this knucklehead,
Right.
teen that was just get in trouble all the time with Ezra. Like they would always be the ones that got in trouble. To starting to realize her destiny, starting to make decisions that affected more than just herself, starting to realize her potential and start to actually live in it, and then to see the regression as her character in that was another thing that kind of I was just like, you know, like, did I have to watch all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels to get to here, or
Probably
should
not.
I? You know, probably not. If this was what we were going to do, that's cool. And not to say it's bad, not to say anything is bad. It's just not what I expected. And I think that's one of the things that I think that Dave Filoni has that could go in his favor. You know, even though my man Daniel feels like it might have been a bad decision, but if you have these viewers that are not aware of the storyline and everything that went on before it, then they don't have any preconceived expectations.
Exactly.
They don't have any. You know what I'm saying? Like, for them, as long as it's entertaining, then this all works. It's all.
I think it was necessary.
Necessary, right?
I think it was necessary for him to dial it back as much as he did. Otherwise, it will fall more into what Biddle is saying. Because if you would have went to the little sense of, I already know y'all seen this, so let's go ahead and keep the progression of the character arc, then the people who haven't seen it will be lost as hell. They would have like, oh, damn, I really do have to sit there and watch 7 seasons of the Rebels to be able to understand why she's the way she is. You know what I'm saying? And so it's easier for him to regress him a little bit and be able to go through that final arc as a live action. So let's just say the loss of Ezra kind of had her digress to a more rebellious type of person. You see what I'm saying? So that gives us an excuse for him to be able to dial it back and make her go through that transition again, but this time in live action, when people who are not fans can actually fall in love with the character through the progression. He can't give you the final result because they don't know what the struggle was. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying the people who are not fans, the people who he's trying to grab. Because like you said, it looks like what he's trying to do is grow the fandom, let's say.
Yeah,
so for you to be able to do that, you have to give up a little bit. You can't just go straight from what it was to some, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to catch it. And there might be like, I ain't gonna watch this because I will have to watch 7 seasons of Rebels.
But see, now, Minnie, you make a good point, and I would support that whole theory of thinking, but he didn't do that. He did do exactly what it is that you're saying he shouldn't have done. He went from right when it ended. When we ended Rebels, Rebels, it ended where this is beginning. This is literally this.
No, I hear you, but I'm just saying, like, you have to. First of all, you just said it had what, 6-year gap?
Yeah, 6 to 8 year gap.
So you know what I mean? That all of those are excuses for people to have things. So that you just lost somebody, and now you went through 6 years of mourning that person in your own way. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got the same thing with Ahsoka, who just lost her little Padawan, and because they ain't messing with each other no more, and had 6 years to go through that while she's trying to find Thrawn. You know what I'm saying? So all those progressions, it kind of helps them out to have had that 6-year gap. If they would have started the episode exactly how the first episode ended of Rebels, then I'll be like, yeah, he fucked that up. Because you have to know what happened before that. You see what I'm saying? But have that gap in between, it kind of gives him an excuse to kind of like do what he's doing, so people who don't know any better can catch up to it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess you would have to see, and then you would understand why I feel the way that I feel about Sabine being taking such a regret, because there's so much I'm not mentioning about Rebels that makes sense for Sabine to be way more mature than she is right now, and like even 6 to 8 years, if her, I would totally support that. Had her and Ezra had a love affair, if they had ever had ever even just kissed, even if there was but there was never any of that. It was just always like this really tight.
But they're like brother and sister though.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. Because I feel like you're gonna leave me into talking about tell me yeah. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do, because Daniel just brought up a really good character, and this is honestly was one of my favorite characters of all.
Oh, Chopper.
Yo, you said it. This Chopper is that. Listen, man, Chopper had some of the best scenes, the best scenes in Rebels, because Chopper. One thing about Chopper not taking no mess, and that's a robot, by the way, not taking no mess. He's such a practical joker. Oh my God. But it's some of this stuff it's like, is that really funny? Or did Chopper just try to kill him? Like I remember there was an episode in Rebels where Chopper was in this room with Ezra, and Ezra was hanging off of this platform, and if he would have fell, he could have died. And Chopper ran right over his fingers while he was holding on. And he was like, "Yo, Chopper." Chopper was like, "Man, whatever," because he had said something smart to Chopper. And Chopper is like a human, man. This dude catches Chopper catches attitudes. He is, man, listen. Chopper has killed, yes, he is legit a serial murderer. He has killed so many stormtroopers. He has electrocuted them. He has thrown them off of out of the sky. I mean, there's just, man, listen. If there was ever an oh shit moment out of the entire episode, that would have been my oh shit moment, was when they showed Chopper. And listen, there's no reason to even talk. Chopper looks exactly like Chopper looks on the animated.
Yeah, great scenes.
Looks exactly the same. One of the things, and I can see it already happening, is you're gonna get a lot of the humor that Chopper possesses. Chopper, you never understand what Chopper's saying, but you can always kind of see, like, just from his movements or whatever, like, you can kind of gather what it is that he's saying, and that's dope.
Right.
Like
arms.
With R2-D2, he gets to getting his lights go to lighten up, and but it's it's nothing like Chopper. Chopper uses his arm, his little
limbs.
Them little limbs. He be
that
using them.
flexing.
That dude will flex on you, all of that. Yo, I think Chopper is gonna be a huge hit on this series. Like Baby Grogu was a huge hit in Mandalorian. I can very easily see Chopper being the star of this whole series. Obviously Ahsoka is the star, but I could see Chopper being everybody's go-to next favorite. Like, oh, I love Chopper, he's so funny, and he's always doing shit. So like when I saw Chopper, I was like, oh my gosh, that was like the most excited I got for the entire episode was when I saw Chopper. And to be honest, if keeping in the same energy, I was duly excited when I saw my man Huang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I was like, and obviously they hit it spot on. Here's the animated version. I mean,
they did great.
They did a great job. That is almost identical. I mean, you couldn't have asked. And to speak to the thing you were talking about earlier about the voice actors coming over and reprising their roles as voice actors and other, and maybe even on a live action tip. This gentleman, which is David Tennant, also known as Doctor Who. I think he's been on Doctor Who, but I'm saying on countless other things that we've seen and watched and loved and things like that. But he is the voice of Huang. You know what I'm saying? So I like those two characters between Chopper and him. That was epic, because you haven't seen, I think, Huang since Clone Wars, when he was doing like the youngling episodes and all of that, those kind of episodes. So you haven't seen him in a long time. So to see him back on the screen was just one of those moments. Now, those are all of the characters, obviously, that we talked about from Rebels, but there were some new characters that we haven't encountered, and I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you. And that's you know, my man right here, and what's her name? What's his name? Balin.
I know his name's Balin, but I don't know her name.
Her name is
I know his name is Balin. I know that much.
Why can't I think of her name?
AKA Evil Santa Claus.
Let me see. What her name is.
I'll tell you that boy don't care about no hoes. I'll tell you that.
Let's see. It's the cast.
I like the orange lightsabers too.
Her name is Shin Hati. Shin. So
Okay.
So again, these are two characters that I don't know. I don't recognize. But yeah, it's basically two new characters that we have not been able to see yet. And one of those characters, Balin, is played by Ray Stevenson. And I don't know if you knew this, Minnie, but Ray Stevenson died in May.
Oh, that's why they had the thing at the end of the
Yeah, he died right before this thing. Like, yeah, he died in Ray. Ray died in May. And I was like, I didn't even know that until I started researching this. And I was like, wow, he died? And Ray Stevenson, yeah, rest in peace, Ray Stevenson, man. I mean, this guy's been in some of the best, like, just movies, playing all type of warriors and different you know, roles, and just one of those really decent actors that goes under the radar for a long time, man. But you know, this is his final role, man. And he's ending it in Star Wars. So we got, you know, Ray Stevenson playing Balin. We have what's her name? Her name is Ivana Sakno, she's playing the character Shin Hati, which is the other Sith. And then we saw a third Sith, and I don't know, I don't even know who that Sith was, but I was always under the assumption that there can only be two. You can only have a master and an apprentice, right?
Right.
When it came to the Sith, right?
Yep. It's a rule of two.
That's a rule of two, right?
Yep.
Interesting. So I guess we'll find out later on what that's all about, man. But overall, what would you grade the episode, man? What would you grade the episode?
Which one? Both? Like the
yeah, I guess we could do it as in its entirety. What are your feelings? What are your rating the Ahsoka show at this point?
I'm with it. So far, I'm an 8 out of 10 so far.
So you give it a high 8?
I'll give it a high 8 so far.
Yeah.
You come with your 6.5s.
I'm not gonna do no 6.5. I'll do a 7.
Okay.
I'll do a 7. And I'll go into, you know, at a later date why it is, what things. Yeah, Biddle agrees with me. He got the 7 for 10 too. So we about
you nerds.
Yeah, look, man, we about the same, man. This guy, yeah, and look, and I'm probably there. Yeah, I was struggling with that.
Damn
too,
rebel nerds.
6. Yeah, I was struggling with the I just didn't want to deter anybody. But yeah, for those.
Okay, let's step it back. Are you giving it a 6 out of 10 because of the knowledge you have? If you would have came in without the knowledge you have, would you still rate it a 6 out of 10? If you were brand new to this and you had no prior knowledge of these characters?
Probably not.
Exactly.
But the slow your roll. I'll probably.
Are you going lower?
No. I'm not saying I would rate it a 6 if I didn't know. What I'm saying is, even without knowing, watching the episode itself in its entirety, there are things and that I personally, as a fan of good writing, plot lines and stuff like that, and also choreography is huge for me in action movies. So when it comes to choreography, and dealing with lightsabers, because I think that's where the true choreography comes with lightsaber fights and battles.
Right.
There is a level of I think there's a level of fantasy that needs to be added into lightsaber battles in order to make them exciting. If you don't add that, then it just looks flimsy and non-professional. So when I say that, I say that to say I should never see a lightsaber battle on screen that I could compare to something that me and my homeboy could do in the backyard. And that's because that in reality we don't have all the gimmicks and the tricks that are available to someone who is on a team with special effects and gear and all kind of stuff like that. And that to me was a little on the underwhelming side for me, because that's one of the things that Dave Filoni himself has come out and said, that you will see some of the most epic lightsaber battles in the history of the Star Wars universe. These are his words.
That's a lot to say, though. Who the hell says some shit like that? I mean, come on now.
I mean,
like,
somebody.
You see Phantom Menace and all the other shit.
But that's my point. You can't go see Phantom Menace and see those lightsaber battles and then show me the lightsaber battles that I saw in the first 2 episodes of Thing and expect
it's
me to be
like, level of Jedi, though. We talking about some apprentice niggas. I mean, unless you talk about Ahsoka. Ahsoka's wasn't bad. Her lightsaber battle against
Ahsoka's lightsaber battles. Yeah, we'll have to come back to that, man. What
more do you want from me? I feel like Tyrese. What more do you want from me?
So look. With the lightsaber battles, there really wasn't many lightsaber battles that really.
Exactly.
It was, and this is me trying not to spoil it for people who haven't seen it yet. So what I'll say is, Ahsoka's control of her lightsabers is phenomenal. The way that she's able to maneuver with her lightsabers is phenomenal.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily convey to all the other actors who also possess lightsabers. What I saw in the 2 episodes that I saw was one person who has fully embellished themselves in training and embellished themselves in training, and which I'm talking about Ahsoka. And then having people that are coming on and maybe not taking it as serious. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the camera angles and all of that kind of stuff that causes it. But I will say, based on the Ahsoka lightsaber battles, even though one of those was kind of thing too. But outside of those, I was not impressed with the other lightsaber battles. Not at all. Not in the least. And I'm also questioning how powerful a lightsaber is at this point. So if you want to know why, then go check it out and get back, and we'll talk about it, hash it out. We'll agree to disagree or not.
For now we have to.
Yeah. Other things have been happening out here in this cruel world, man. And
this
some
multiverse.
Some people, in this multiverse, some people are just off their rockers. Some people might even think that they've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And maybe this guy has something in common with the toucan Sam. They both share colored hairs. But listen, bro, I don't know if you heard, but Sugar Sean O'Malley has issued a challenge to our very own Gervonta Tank Davis. He says he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Minnie, what is going on? What do you think? Is Sean have a point? Has he lost his mind? What's up, man?
let's context to what he said. He did say that they both have to remain undefeated for the next, however, I think he said 5 years, but for how many years, so they can at the end of their careers go ahead and have the fight. That's what he's basically trying to say. Like, if he stays undefeated for the next 5 years, he stays undefeated for the next 5 years, which I think Sean lost. But if he stays undefeated for the next 5 years, then that will be a mega fight. Will it be a mega fight? I don't think so. Even if he did stay undefeated, I think people got it twisted after they saw Floyd fight Connor, because Floyd was aged and Floyd was taking it light breeze, and they think that people can come in and do damage, and they keep seeing Jake Paul fight people who are not boxers, and they think that you can go there and do damage. But you got it all messed up. As much as Fury got messed up saying that he can beat John Jones in the octagon, as much as you got messed up thinking that you can beat Tank in the damn ring. It's not gonna happen, bro. I don't care what you do. You can train for the next 5 years. That man is so far ahead of you with so many things. Just the twitch, just the muscle twitch, it's gonna be too much for you. And that boy got knockout power. And both hands. So keep playing with him if you want to. Go ahead and take that fight if you want to. If you want to lose your teeth and go ahead and make a couple $1 million, I hear you, bro. Just say that, because it is an illusion for you to think that you can win this fight. It really is.
So you don't give him a chance in hell.
Not a chance. Are you, boy? Are you serious? Like, no, hell no. Everybody got a puncher's chance because it's boxing. But this is the thing. You don't box. You're gonna be out there throwing MMA punches, and that might not translate the way you think it is. That boy gonna slip one and hit you, and you ain't got nothing else to say after that. All it takes is one. He gonna hit you. He gonna touch you up. That he gonna do. Sugar ain't got no defense like that for him not to touch him up. Mm-hmm. So unless you're gonna come up with unless your range is gonna grow in the next 3 years, which is not, I don't know what you think you're gonna do with Tank. I really don't. I don't understand this. I don't understand it.
I'm not going to say I don't agree with you. I do agree with you. I think that this what is happening, and what is happening is that the UFC fighters realize that there's a market for these type of fights based on what Jake Paul has been able to show by the circus that he's created.
Facts.
Where you have these which I don't think some of these UFC fighters are taking into consideration. Jake Paul is fighting washed up retirees. He's looking for any angle possible to make sure that he can facilitate a win.
Right.
And this is not that. This is a professional fighter, two professional fighters at the top of their games, at the height of their careers, and one who specializes in one technique and another who specializes in another. And I think it says a lot for your intellect to challenge someone in something that they're great in, and something that you've never done. Like that, I think there's got to be some disconnect, some brain function that's not working to make me think that I could go challenge, Tom Brady in a quarterback battle when I've never played quarterback. Just not. I don't care if he's 50. He's been doing it for way longer than I have. So I think this is just, again, another opportunity for a fighter from the UFC to get that huge payday, like Conor did, and it speaks to Dana. Like Dana White, pay your fighters. Pay your fighters. Like if you pay your fighters, they're not going to be out here calling out the names of boxers and football players and whoever.
Look at him. And Ngannou about to fight Tommy now. I mean, Fury for the baddest man in the world. If he wouldn't be doing that if you paid him.
If you paid him, man. If you paid him, man. Like, come on, man. But this is crazy, man. Hey man, we're almost at the end of our hour. But before we go, one last thing, man. Are you ready for some football?
Yes, y'all.
Oh man, we almost
Yes,
there.
yes,
We're
y'all.
almost there, Minnie. We're almost there. We're 2 weeks out, bro. I see you donning that black and that silver. I see you donning it. Man, listen, how excited are you for the NFL season? What are your expectations for your Raiders? Who are you scared of? Go ahead, real quick. Just spout it out.
Real quick, am I excited? Hell yeah. And what is my expectation for the Raiders? To win every preseason game and then get our ass busted. Because that's what the hell we do every year. We win the preseason and then we win about 4 games in a row and they get busted for 6. That's what's going to happen. It's okay, Raider fans. You hear it here first. I'm ready to get our ass beat. So I ain't excited for us, but I love us. This is me, baby. I'm always going to be an Oak Raider fan. I didn't say Las Vegas. I said Oakland.
Yeah,
but exactly, I am, because I am an Oakland fan. I don't know what the Vegas Raiders at. I've never seen them before. But I'll say this, though. Am I excited for the move around on the shuffles? I think I'm more excited about the Jets than you are. It is crazy out here. You guys are piled up on left and right. Defense looking crazy. Offense going to catch up. The special teams looking crispy. It's crazy. I don't like y'all. I can't stand y'all for getting that good that quick. Okay? See what happens when you get a top tier quarterback real quick? Shit changes. Now, I'm excited to see the people who got to prove themselves, who got big checks last year, to see if they can really do what they said they got paid to do. Okay? Lamar Jackson, let's see what you got. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what all these folks got that had got paid. Plus, I'm really, really going to pay attention to the running backs this year. Why? I think running backs are learning that the NFL don't really like them. So I think this year it's going to be a little different. I think I'm gonna see a lot less running back going full contact and going to the sideline. I know this sounds crazy. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot less people running over and a lot more people trying to get to the sideline because running backs are not getting paid these days, and I don't think it's gonna change no time soon.
Ooh, those are some bold statements. I don't know if I agree with that. I think football is embedded once you are a person that plays football from the earliest ages until the later in your career. Football, this is something that I think, and you played football, so you know this.
Yes.
When you play sports and you have a love and a passion for it, the competitive nature in you, which I think is fed by the playing whatever said sport it is that you love.
Right.
It facilitates life within you. So I think if I'm a running back, my only thing is that I want to go out there and be the best running back I can be, and I don't think whatever's happening around me is going to affect me, especially for those that are hungry. Now, what I do agree with you is those veterans that may have already gotten their big paydays and everything like that.
Right.
They may do exactly what you said. They may now try to preserve their bodies because they realize that, hey, these people never got things. But one thing that I did notice that was talked about this year in conversation is the running back position starting to be a position that can be facilitated by anybody. Like they're saying, like, do I need a first rounder? Do I need a running back to take a running back in the first round? No. Do they still equate to this high value commodity? And I think what we are seeing is that these teams are able to get these running backs later in the draft that are giving more productivity and having more productivity than, say, this first round running back that I had to draft that is having injury problems, or he's not on the field, but I'm paying him all this money. So that is what I think what you'll see a surge of these undrafted running backs and undrafted players and low-level 6th round, 5th round, 4th round running backs having opportunities to show out, and they take those opportunities and show out. Now, that's what I think you will see. I think that's what's going to happen, because I know that these running backs hear the same conversations that we're hearing. They know that. I know that they hear that you guys are not as valuable as you were before. We're in a passing generation. This is like where passing the football is more important than running the football. And that's, that's kind of what I think we're going to wind up seeing. I hope what you're saying it doesn't happen. I hope, but then again, because I feel like in order for for that whole perception to change, we have to have some breakout running backs this year. We have to have some running backs. You have to have some running backs that go above and beyond and do big numbers and put that back in the mind of ownership that we can win with a strong running game and things like that. If you can put that back into the owners' minds and everything like that, then you preserve that position of running back. And I think that's really what's going to take. I'm gonna tell you a kid who I'm anxious to see, Bijan Robinson, the running back for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm anxious to see because he was picked in the first round. He was the first running back off the board. And if he goes out there and he's productive and puts up a monster year and goes, makes the Pro Bowl and all of that, because he has the potential to do it. And especially in that offense. So if he can do that, then you bring that conversation back.
Saying you gotta have a stat though. You're gonna have to go Chris Johnson, Adrian Peterson. You're gonna have to have a stat. You're not gonna be able to change that mindset, getting 500, 600. You're gonna have to get a whole stat. You're gonna have to, and then you're gonna have to do it in a way where it's seen like you contributed in a way that's why the team did what they did. You see what I'm saying? It can't be empty yards on some. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something like you're out here getting first downs. You're out here getting small, the little inches instead of doing the QB sneak every goddamn time. It's got to be things that are monumental. Otherwise, we might start seeing a bunch of Devos just running the jet sweep from now on.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think the bar is low if you're talking about 1,000. 1,000 is a low bar.
Last time we seen one though.
I mean, we've seen it like the
except for
past
homeboy.
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, there's a lot of running backs that got over 1,000 yards last year.
Last season?
Yeah, last season. Jonathan Taylor.
I saw maybe 3. White boy. I give you Jonathan Taylor.
You talking about Christian? You talking about McCaffrey? You talking about McCaffrey? You talking about McCaffrey?
I had 3 at most. And a stat is light work.
That's what I'm saying. 1,000 is light work. I think there was a few that got it last year. I mean, there was more than a few, but I'd have to go check the stat lines and everything like that and everything. But I will say this: I'm excited for Jets football. I'm excited for football. I say again, I'm excited for Jets football. I cannot wait for our season. I'm telling you right now, if we win those first 2 games, at starting off the season, first game at Buffalo, second game Dallas. If we win those first 2 games, win those first 2 games of the season, bro, you will hear my mouth every single week, every opportunity. I will talk so much shit. Listen, I hope that y'all better hope that we not good this year. You know how long I've been waiting to pop shit?
I know, that's the problem.
You know how long I've been waiting? I have been waiting readily to pop off, and I have not been able to. So just know that it's coming. It is coming. It is coming. So stay tuned into the multiverse and all of my shenanigans. If we are good this year, I might wear green all year in honor of us. Yeah, you know, like I'm telling you, man, we got it. Looks so. I've been watching Hard Knocks, and we look good. We look good. We like our defense. We got dogs on the defensive line. We got dogs in the secondary. We got dogs on the O line. We got dogs. They everywhere. It's just.
I'm more excited for your defense, to be honest with you, which is crazy to say that I'm more excited for your defense, having the quarterback you have and the assets that you have as wide receivers, and I'm still way more excited for your defense. It is what it is.
Look at Lisa trying to throw salt in the wound. Listen, she said you got normal expectations. I have normal expectations, Lisa. Mind you, these are normal expectations. Now,
you right.
Like there's just so many things. There's so many things that have been put together. So many things that have happened in this offseason that has us excited. We finally
I
have
like our coach too.
We find and yes, Salah is doing something with that defense that he
Yeah,
did
I like our coach.
in San Francisco, and I'm loving it, loving what I see. I do think we'll have a top 3 defense. I didn't say top 5, top 3 defense in the league this year. And we might match that with a top 5 offense this
Now
season.
that would be crazy.
That would be crazy, but it's very
That would be
possible. It
crazy.
is extremely possible.
It's true.
So if we can do that, I'm gonna be excited. But if we do lose the first 2, I'll humble myself until we go on a run, and then I'm gonna talk shit. And just
I'm about to say it ain't gonna last long.
yeah, hey man, look, wishful thinking, man, wishful thinking. But listen, man, this wraps up another episode of the Multiverse Podcast. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Thank you to the comment section. Thank you for all of your loyal support. If you were listening on any of the your listening devices, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you listen to podcasts, we also appreciate you listening. Continue to listen. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, tune in to us. We will be back to our regular schedule every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., 7 to 7:30. So we are back at it. We are going to be talking your movies, TV shows, all of the things that we usually talk about, and also some of those very, very important topics such as sex, therapy, mental health, all of the things that we continue to talk about on the Multiverse and continue to applaud. We want to, again, make sure we give a special shout out to the writers.
Yes.
Today we spotlighted Dave Filoni. We want to make sure we continue to spotlight the writers and give them the credit that they deserve. And we will continue to stand with you guys in solidarity and support your strike against those who would have you out of house and home. So we will continue to support your movement and continue to support the actors and those that are most affected, the writers and actors, and most affected by this. So on behalf of myself and Minnie, Baby Girl Gru, aka Minnie Morales, aka your baby mama's favorite comic.
That part.
Until next week, we are the Multiverse Podcast. We're out.